A question that a lot of people have been wondering since the end of WoD was if Archimonde actually died at Hellfire Citadel. Did the left hand of Sargeras actually manage to get his teeth stomped in by 20 players? Now before we go over this question, we first have to go over a few things. Some of you guys may say, well, it doesn't matter if he's dead or not because that Archimonde was Warlord of Draenor's Archimonde. He was an alternate universe character and that really doesn't tie into the Burning Legion that we have to deal with now and today. That is wrong. Some time ago, Blizzard put out a tweet saying this: Archimonde is a demon whose demon soul is anchored to the Nether, and the Nether transcends all realities. What this means is that the Archimonde that we killed in Hellfire Citadel is the same exact Archimonde that we killed during Warcraft 3. The Manaroth that died during the trailer for WoD is the same Manaroth that died by pretty much the same way in Warcraft 3, which is pretty dumb because you'd think he'd learn a thing or two by then. But anyway, this means that there is only one Legion, a single Burning Legion that exists across all timeways and realities. The Kha'Zix, the Manaroth, the Archimonde that we fought in Warlords of Draenor, these are the same ones that we fought in the past in our timeline. But then wait, how did they come back to life? So now this calls into the question how demons die. Demons from the Burning Legion can only be killed in the Twisting Nether. This means that when Manaroth was killed by Grom in Warcraft 3, when he was killed in the trailer for WoD, and when he was killed in Hellfire Citadel, he can still come back. His physical shell may appear to be dead, but his soul is inhabiting the Twisting Nether, recovering and in time once again bringing him back to life, so to speak. Now in the Illidan novel, Illidan leads his demon hunters on an invasion of Nathreza, the Nathrezim homeworld. Once there, he and his hunters begin slaughtering the Nathrezim, Felguard, and other minions of the Legion by the multitudes. These demons are now all dead. But then you may ask yourself, wait, they died on a Legion homeworld, not the actual Twisting Nether itself, so how is it that they died permanently? It is because these Legion homeworlds are still in some way linked with the malevolent and chaotic energies of the Twisting Nether. An exact quote from Chronicle says the following: "The only way to kill demons is to slay them in the Nether or in areas of the Great Dark saturated with that realm's volatile energies." This means that no matter how the Nathrezim, Felguard, Fellhounds, whatever else died that day either by blade, by magic, or when Illidan himself sundered the planet entirely, they are dead for good, and they will never return. Now when we fought Archimonde in Hellfire Citadel on Mythic difficulty, he transports us to the Twisting Nether itself where the fight carries on. However, as the fight progresses and we weaken him, and he ultimately dies, he is transported back to Draenor. The fight may end in the Twisting Nether, but he physically dies on Draenor as we can see. After he is beaten in the raid, he is still alive, and during that period, he uses what remaining energy he has left to send Gul'dan hurling through the portal. This means that Archimonde technically is not dead for good, because the moment he dies is when he is on Draenor, not the Nether. And according to Chronicle, beings like him can only be slain in the Nether or in worlds saturated by the Nether's energies, which Draenor isn't. If anything, Outland would probably come close to that, since the world literally has pieces of rock floating in space, but when it comes down to WoD, Draenor is still intact and it is still a planet, not yet fully contaminated by energies from the Nether. Now if the Burning Legion in Hellfire Citadel managed to beat us, they managed to take over Draenor and it became a Legion conquered homeworld, then yes, possibly it could become saturated with energies from the Twisting Nether, but that's not what happened and that's not what we're talking about. Now when actually asked and confronted about the status of Archimonde and if he actually is dead, Blizzard responded with this:
We might change it. This might not be canon. This might be something that we decide we're going to tinker with, right? So I'll give you. I'll try and explain what the thinking was. The idea was that the demons in the Burning Legion, they're kind of immortal in that they can exist across all the planes unless they're killed in the actual Twisting Nether itself. So killing Archimonde at the World Tree in Warcraft 3, well, you know, he was killed on Azeroth, but he would recoalesce in the Twisting Nether and come back to haunt us again. And the idea was, if you played in Mythic and you defeated Archimonde, you actually defeated him in the Nether, and then he'd be dead for good. That was the idea that we played with. We tried to explain that, and I don't know that it certainly doesn't come across in game because it's not necessarily explained in game, and maybe we'll change that. Maybe we'll change the canon of that. But that was the idea that we were working with, was unless you rip these demons out and take them to the Twisting Nether and kill them there, they'll always keep coming back. So. But maybe that's not canon. Maybe we'll continue tinkering with that idea.
So it pretty much seems like, in addition to Archimonde still being alive, they just didn't take any of the lore from WoD seriously, aside from alternate timeline Gul'dan, obviously now playing a huge role in our timeline, and especially with Legion. But when it comes down to everything else, Drutan, Grom, Urel, they aren't relevant at all in any way, shape, or form anymore, which really leaves the feeling that, maybe a lot of things that happened in that expansion could be tinkered with. One thing among those being that Archimonde could still be brought back. So the technical answer to the question with what information we have readily available to us is no, Archimonde is not dead. The realistic answer to the question, however, is that lore in WoW has been constantly changing, with a lot of major things being altered in the recent years. So when it comes to Archimonde being brought back, it is a possibility, as you can all see from the interview. But when it comes down to it, it's obviously Blizzard's decision. If they want to bring him back, they will. If not, they won't. However, after seeing the interview though, it is a possibility. But that's the answer to the question, guys, both realistic and lore technical, or whatever you want to call it. If you have any more topics you want to be covered, go ahead and post it down below. But as always, guys, take care, and I'll see you next time.